Minogue, my guest. Kylie, nice to have you here at Much Music.
Nice to be here.
And welcome to Canada, although you were here once as a child, I understand.
Yes, very briefly. I spent a bit of time in Vancouver Island. I loved it.
Yeah, it's quite beautiful there. You've had the joy or the misfortune, however you look at it, of growing up in public, I guess. When was the first time that the Australian people got to see you as a performer?
Well, I did some acting when I was 10 years old, and I was in a show for a couple of months. But then I did nothing till I was 16, so from 16 onwards I was more or less in constant work up to now. But I'm really thankful that, you know, from 11 till 16 I was just a normal, heartbroken 12-year-old, you know, did all the normal teenage things because they're such vital years. So, I mean, it's only, I've grown up in the public eye, being old enough to sort of know what's going on, which is good.
What types of characters did you play on Aussie TV?
Well, the series I've just left, I was in it for 2.5 years. I played a character called Charlene, who was a real tomboy, and she was a motor mechanic.
A motor mechanic?
Yeah, I nearly blew up my car. I just put petrol in it, you know, never mind the water or oil. So she's quite different to me.
Would she respond to things completely differently than you? If I come to you and say, look, you said you fixed my car and the exhaust pipe is dragging on the ground, what are you going to do about it?
She'd probably say, well, what do you expect, you know? She's sort of like, if someone said something about her or a friend of hers that she didn't like, she'd just deck them, you know.
She'd deck them?
Deck them. That's
you don't look like you would deck anybody,
no,
I gotta tell you.
I wouldn't deck anyone, but Charlene would. So it's, I think that was part of the appeal. I mean, I'm so short, or petite, I should say.
Yes.
That,
we have the smaller persuasion, look upon it as an elegant thing.
Yeah. So I was always telling off all these really big people. And
when did you first decide you wanted to make a record?
well, I was asked with a few of the other members from the cast to help out at a football benefit concert, of all things. And so we agreed and we did one song, and we were all really nervous because we hadn't done anything like that before. But we ended up having such a great time that we went, yeah, wow, we want to do something else. We had adrenaline everywhere, and we just were desperate to get back on the stage. So I suggested Locomotion because I knew the words to it, and it's a simple, it's such an old song, the band knew it, simple backing. So we did this impromptu number, and they loved it, and it was then suggested I should record it, which I did.
When you went to make the album, obviously the story, as we've been telling, is that you worked with Stock Aitken and Waterman, producers in England. Did you know what kind of a record you wanted to make when you went into working with them?
Well, the only unfortunate thing about everything that's happened to me is lack of time. So with the album, it was like, we've got to have it out by this time. So I got 2 weeks off from work, which is like a real blessing. It's really hard to get time off. So I flew the horrendous 24-hour flight to London and recorded the album in the space of 10 days. I did 2 tracks in Australia, and the rest was done there. So I didn't have as much input as I would like to, but never mind, I'll do that next time. But we were basically looking for an album that was fun. Like, I think at 20 I don't have anything heavy political or religious statements to say, or, you know, I'm going to change the world. So basic fun music for people to enjoy.
So pretty well all the songs and arrangements have been done by the time you got there?
Yeah, well, they had to be. I had no time to hang around.
Any big shocks? Did you get there and go, no, I can't stand this, I refuse to sing that?
Which was lucky. I think if they did come up with something I thought was absolutely disastrous or horrible, I would have said something. But as it turned out, they were all great songs. They did a really good job.
Tell us about the video for I Should Be So Lucky. We're going to play it now.
That was done in a day. With my schedule on Neighbours, we normally worked from 6:45 till after 7 at night. So the 3 I've done had to be done on the weekends, which I don't think any of the crew appreciated, but nevertheless, we had to do that in one day, and it was mixed the next day, and the next night was satellited to London to be on a TV show. So it was a really rushed job on that.
Let's take a look. This is I Should Be So Lucky, Kylie Minogue on Much Music.
Sweetest
That's I Should Be So Lucky from Kylie Minogue's debut LP. I have not only the album, but the artist in question with me here today. And Kylie, congratulations, a #1 song in many countries around the world.
Well, surprised everyone, I think.
Including you, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Is North America going to be another story for you to crack, do you think?
Yeah, all of America, I mean, everywhere outside of, I've covered Europe, UK, the Asian countries, but here's really new, and it's a real challenge because I'll be taken on the musical side because you don't have the TV show that I'm known for overseas.
Yeah, we have no preconceptions about you here in North America, but do you think it's going to be a tough market in some respects?
Yeah, I think so. I think everywhere is quite tough, you know, it's difficult. So I've been travelling around for about a week through New York, Philadelphia. This is my only time in Canada. But the vibes are pretty good. People are hoping for big things, so fingers crossed.
We talked about your work with the Stock Aitken and Waterman production team. Now, they're so popular, they are so hot, and they're such hit makers. I wonder, for a young artist going in to make their first record, if there's a difficulty of establishing your own musical identity in the face of this incredibly stylish production team.
Well, at the moment, you know, I don't profess to be anything more than the singer, and I think there's a lot of pressure of like, when are you going to write your songs, when are you going to tour, and it's like, well, when I'm ready.
Yeah.
And I think if you take the average actor, they don't write the scripts direct, they take directions, so, you know, I don't have my own musical direction at the moment. I'm singing the way I think the song should be sung. So I hope when I get back home to try writing and sort of find out what I do like. I personally like listening to more R&B stuff and a lot of the Motown stuff. So, you know, I don't, until I sit down and get with a few people and try to write some songs, maybe then I'll sort of go in on their territory.
Have you set up priorities in your mind, in the sense that for the next year you're going to really work away at a musical career, or, I mean, you must have people working concurrently to try to produce acting opportunities for you as well. Are you just going to take what seems like the best thing at the best time?
Yeah, at the moment I'm obviously concentrating on this album, and when I go back home, hopefully around the end of the year I may be doing a mini-series or a film, so that will be good, and then I'll be thinking about the next album, so that's the way I hope it will go. That would be perfect.
We mentioned growing up in public. Are there some things that you kind of feel like you missed out on being a teenager? A few of those years must have slipped by you, having to get up at 5 in the morning to go to work.
Yeah, it's like if you go out with friends and say, come on, you can come out. No, I got to get up at 6 in the morning. No, and that, like, they don't know what 6 o'clock in the morning is, so that didn't help. But you know, I think you have to take the good with the bad. But there's one thing a lot of Australian teenagers do is when they finish school, they take a year off and do what we call the hippie trail up the coast. So you hire a combi van and you just hang out and work in pubs or work doing whatever you can up the coast, which is something I didn't do, but you know, I'll probably do it in my 30s.
way down the road, yeah. Thanks for dropping by today, Kylie, and real nice to meet you. And we have a choice video of yours. You want to introduce it for us?
Yeah, okay. This is one of my favourite videos from a long time ago. It's King Khan's with Betty Davis Eyes.